due to narcissists having a personality disorder, leads to many viewing their behaviors and actions in a different light, to such a degree that others become offended and will ridicule and shame those who have been on the receiving end of the narcissist's wrath and manipulation, judging them for not having more compassion when they speak up about the disheartening abuse that they have endured and the ugly true nature that these individuals harbor behind the masquerade that they put on for the rest of the world. So I wanted to go over why viewing it in such a light is actually not helpful for anyone, further enables their behaviors to continue and enhances the danger on society as a whole. If narcissists were completely oblivious and were not aware that the things that they did were hurtful or wrong, there would be absolutely no reason for the fake personas. They wouldn't throw down with the Hiroshima version of love bombing, lie more often than they breathe, or play the victim card like it's their second job. They know. Not only do they know, but they choose intentionally and deliberately to insult, degrade, demean, and devalue others and mess with their mind in efforts to decrease their self-esteem, sense of worth, and deplete their confidence. Narcissists choose to put their needs above anything else with the intent to make others feel lesser than and like they're not worthy of any better. So they will continue to tolerate any and all of the mistreatment that they dole out onto them. But narcissists don't insult, demean, or say hateful, hurtful things as a way of trying to find company for their misery. Rather, they are pawning off their problems, wrongdoings, and internal war entirely and unnecessarily onto others as a way to avoid having to face any of the less than desirable emotions and feelings that we as humans have. Because they don't want to feel the shame, the pain, the guilt, or would point to that they aren't more superior than anyone else, which is the very reason that they develop these defense mechanisms and learned behaviors from a very young age, originally adapted out of a sense of survival to protect them from these unwanted feelings, which again isn't their fault, but it is their responsibility now in adulthood to adjust and come up with different coping mechanisms and defense mechanisms, as these no longer are applicable in adulthood, nor are they being used in a way to protect them from a sense of survival standpoint. And to not call them out or hold them accountable isn't only enabling them to continue carrying on with these behaviors, but it is exactly what the narcissist wants. They rely on your pity because unlike other mental illnesses or personality disorders, personality disorder works for them, functioning on a daily basis. Don't bring them issues, but rather the issues and challenges are faced and brought about on others. They not only want to stay broken, but they choose to stay broken because it works. And because of their having a lack of object constancy and a lack of effective empathy, it makes it impossible for anyone to be able to do, say, or go about in ways of helping to save, fix, or make them see it any differently. But what makes it so dangerous and why it's easier to get others' pity and sympathy is because cognitively, they understand not only the difference between right and wrong, but two, how to read others and respond an appropriate emotional response when it serves them to do so, allowing them to be able to lure others in. It enhances their victim playing. And on the flip side to this, they know by taking these appropriate responses and turning them into inappropriate responses will confuse the shit out of those who have effective empathy. And it's why their sources of supply are often left reeling with this wonder of how in the world could anyone do this to another. And it's also within this lack of empathy and object constancy. Don't care how others feel. They too could care less how you feel about them and why, whether you give them compassion, unconditionally love them, or tell them to go sit and spin on a cactus makes no difference whatsoever, because it is not your feelings that they're after. It is purely off of getting external validation or an emotional response from you so that they can boost their ego, feeling so powerful in being able to make you go against your own will by suffering. And why we're trying to go about it in means of giving them more compassion doesn't make one bit of a difference, won't change the outcome at all, because their deceit, malevolence, and manipulation is a product of measured consideration, not uncontrolled impulses, purposefully instigating fights, intentionally going out of their way to create unnecessary drama, turmoil, and chaos to inconvenience your life for no reason whatsoever. Have zero issues betraying anyone, deliberately going behind their backs, setting up their smear campaigns just so they aren't believed when and if they ever dare try to expose them. Not because they care what you say or how you feel about them, because the only thing that matters to them is how others perceive them, because that is the only way that they will be able to continue on with manipulating others. And if I'm being brutally honest, when I take the heat on not being compassionate, it is everything within my power to not respond back. Are you fucking kidding me right now? But I don't, because I'm aware that there's a strong chance that this could be a narcissistic individual trying to razzle me, and well, I'm not going to give them the satisfaction. But anyone who has survived one of these soul-sucking, life-draining, energy-depleting demonic bedbugs has given them every ounce of compassion that they have in them over and over and over, to the point where their compassion department is completely tapped out, wiped clean, exhausted, dehydrated, depleted, vanished of but a speck of compassion for them. And they have learned the hard way that it doesn't matter how much compassion you give them. They don't care. It does not make them hypocritical, does not make them by any means evil as the narcissist, and rather are speaking up in attempts to, one, inform others about what these monsters are truly capable of, and two, to unburden themselves from suffering in silence for so long. And if anyone deserves the compassion, it is not the narcissist, it is one on the receiving end of their wrath and malevolence that deserve the compassion. Narcissists do not think or behave like that to the average human, and trying to handle, rationalize, understand, or deal with them from a context that you would an average person simply doesn't work. It doesn't, and it's not going to, because they don't want your help, your compassion, your love, or anything else you can give them, except for them to feed off of your soul so they can remain in their demonic rendition of Never Never Land. And you can't fix that type of broken. Don't even try, because it ain't gonna happen. You're worth and deserve so much more than these people could ever give you. Focus on you. Fuck the narcissist.